around. So Mickelson had yesterday almost set the lowest scoring mark ever in any major tournament history.
Yeah.
A 62, he shot a 63, missed the putt that Dale, I know you would have made, you and Steve both would have made, but missed the putt on the 18th hole. So close, and he was disappointed, but that's going to be great coverage again, that kicking off tomorrow at 4 a.m.
Played well again today, so he's a fan favorite. It'd be fun to watch him go through the weekend, see if he can get another major.
Chase Elliott on track and wiggling a bit. What's he doing there, guys?
He got up out of the groove a little bit. I think he probably got some stuff on his tires. He's going to come in, so he wanted to make sure that he got them cleaned off.
This was last week in Kentucky. Chase Elliott trying to go around the outside of Ryan Blaney and the 21. The two youngsters make contact and both go around. Both get into the wall, and both ended up in the garage after that.
Yeah, and the accident we see right there really is Ryan Blaney's accident. He lost control of his car in turn 3. We saw that a lot last week in Kentucky between the new surface, the harder tire. It was just a lot of people struggled with that in the racetrack, and Chase Elliott happened to be on the outside of him, and that's what really caught the 24 off. But you see right here, the 24, you see he gets in a little too deep, gets up over the paving seam we talked about. Actually gets all the way up into where really the third groove. There's probably some marbles, some used up tire up there from all the cars practicing. So I think you see what he's doing on the back stretch, just cleaning those tires up. In the garage.
Yeah, so my question is, those guys are really good friends. What can you expect from the guys that aren't your better friends on the track, like what happened? Yeah, that was unfortunate. And that's what, to me, was always difficult in trying to really have friendships among the drivers, because it seemed to me that every time somebody that you spent a little bit of time with, that was the next person that you got into an incident with on the track, so handling that.
And let's go back to the garage and Jeff.
Hey guys, I'm down here in the pressure zone. I'm hanging out with all the people that are kind of at the cut line trying to make the chase. Trevor, you're one of those teams. How much pressure does that put on you guys coming into this weekend?
Well, you just know there's no margin for error right now. For our Advocare team, we just know we've got to execute every weekend. And when we looked at the schedule and we saw, Daytona, Kentucky, Loudon, those 3 races in a row, we said, man, this is a huge opportunity to lose a lot of points or to gain a lot of points. And so far, the first 2 of those have worked out well for us. But now this weekend here, Loudon's not been our strong suit, and we've got some work to do. I think we're playing 9th right now or something. So hopefully we can find some speed in our board. And, you just know that you got to finish top 10, top 15 every week until the chase starts if you're going to make this deal.
Well, we've seen you guys have speed, fine speed this year. I know you're not still where you want to be, but this weekend in particular, where do you feel like you're lacking?
I think the short track program for us hasn't been where it needs to be for a little while, and we've really gained on a lot of things this year. Our mile-and-a-half program, our super speedway program, the short track program and road course cars are the last thing to kind of catch up a little bit. But for Matt and I think we're in reach of being able to adjust on the car with bars and springs and get it close enough to be a top 15 car by the end of the weekend. For me right now, it's all about getting over the corner. It's obviously you get loose in. He's doing that on purpose. It's my buddy there. It's easy to get loose in, loud and tight off, and then snappy loose off, and we kind of got a little bit of all that. So we got to pick the biggest issue and work on that, and hopefully we'll be all right.
All right, well, good luck. Listen, guys, nobody in this end of the garage, nobody's really smiling down here. There's a lot of pressure on everybody, so we've all been there before. It's no fun.
Yeah, you say nobody's smiling, and there's a lot of pressure, and you don't ever want to make light of a situation where, for example, in this situation, the 14 of Dale Earnhardt, currently 14th, Dale Earnhardt Jr., 32 points above the cut line, but because he's not racing this weekend, you will not gain any points. So a Trevor Bayne, a Casey Kane, a Ryan Blaney, guys, and Jamie McMurray, all will be able to advance their position potentially on Dale Earnhardt Jr. just because he's not here.
Yeah, this is a business and a sport, and you take advantage when opportunities are presented, and that's what this is for those Uplands. They understand that, and they realize that. There's nothing wrong about them even talking about that. Hey, this is an opportunity for us to make the most of this. So it opened a lot of eyes. But something Trevor Bayne there said that makes a lot of sense to me, and Steve, I think you probably agree. When you go to flat racetracks, I've always thought that that's where you really see which teams are on top of their game. When you're not, I think a flat track brings out more things that you may be lacking in your organization. And I think the boards and that, especially with Roush Speedway, that may show that even though they've made a lot of improvements, that he talked about them struggling on these side tracks, that may be something they still have to work at.
Yeah, I mean, the age-old question is what's more important, the car or the driver? And I think that moves around through the year on what type of track you're at. But here in New Hampshire is truly you have to have both. But I think the car might lead the way at times, because I've seen drivers that I never thought were great flat track or great short track drivers be dominant here in New Hampshire because they had such a good race car. They're long, flat corners. You watch Greg Biffle right here. Goes into turn 1, flat. There's so many options to get around this corner. You need a car to change direction. You see Biffle high up over that pavement scene. You know, Jeff, you've been great here before. You have to have a great car to be great at a track like this.
Oh, without a doubt. And you have to strategy. Everything's really difficult here. This track, it looks flat, it looks calm, it looks real tame, but it's not. I mean, this is one of the toughest racetracks, especially a day like this where it's so slick. But I want to go back and talk about, Dale Jr. not being here. We talked about that opportunity of Alex Bowman, and you guys said it. I mean, this creates an opportunity for all these guys trying to get into the chase. He is not in the position, I think, where Dale Jr. is going to probably fall out of the top 16. I think he's really close, but I think he'll still be there. But he's still giving points up. And there's nothing wrong with these guys down here viewing that as an opportunity. This is competition. And if you have to take advantage, whether you're a driver or a crew chief, you have to take advantage of every opportunity given to you to try to get you and your team in a chase. And I can guarantee you every team down here sees this as an opportunity to gain some points.
And let's go to the other side of the garage. Dave Burns.
And catching up with Kurt Busch now, who is glad that he's got that win and is safely in the chase, doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Smile on your face from your race car today so far?
So far, the track conditions are really hot, which is unusual, but it's just going to stay hot, which is good. So now it's going to stay consistent throughout the weekend, and our Haas Automation Monster Energy Chevy's been fast in Q trim the last 3 or 4 times here. Got to get better in race trim, so we stay in race trim a little longer on this practice session.
Taking the switch over now, you can see the crew work behind him, and then Kurt will hop back in, guys.
Thanks, Dave. So a lot of different strategies taking place in this first practice session. Denny Hamlin still fast.